What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be breaking down how much Tai Lopez makes from each different source. Now I do have it in an Excel sheet. Before we get going, winner of the $25 PayPal giveaway is right here. And again, every single day, $25. So just comment to win. Now let's jump right into this. You guys really enjoyed the one I did on Logan Paul, which if you haven't seen was 2 or 3 videos if you want to go watch it. Now Tai's is completely different because he's in a different niche, and I decided to do it in Excel this time because it's easier. Now, these are the best guesstimates I could do based off of kind of what I do in my niche and other people I know of, and I tried to lowball it, if anything. So these are conservative estimates and just as accurate as I could do. So the first thing for Tai is he has a bunch of courses. Now we know this, he's an online entrepreneur. So he has a Bitcoin course, a course on credit, investing, make money online, social media, and Millionaire Mentor, whatever that is. Now, a lot of these courses release at higher prices, $1,000, $2,000, and then he lets them cruise at like $700. So when he first released the social media one, it was at $1,000. The other ones I assume were a little bit higher. I'm not 100% sure, but now this is $700. So I let this one be at $1,000. I put the rest where they are now. So that is why the prices are like that. I got all these off his website. Now, how did I guesstimate how many sales he's getting? Well, I was in his social media course. I took it and it showed how many people were in there. At the time, it was about 20,000. And that was 10, 11 months ago. And that was within a couple months of him launching that course, 3, 4, 5 months. So 20,000 sales or users in there at the price of $1,000, $2,000. I'm going to assume he gets about 25,000 a year in that course. Now, he will have courses he launches that slow down a lot, and then when he launches a new one, it'll be a lot higher. So I tried to average these out the best I could. So I know he got at least 25,000 sales of that at $1,000 right there. That's 25 million for the year. Yes, I know. Now with his other courses, his Bitcoin one's new. I think it's a lot more popular. So I'm going to go ahead and say 30,000 sales, which off of a 1.2 million following, couple million email list, and millions on other platforms, I think under 3% of his subscribers would buy that. So I think that's very conservative, even though the numbers look insane when you say 21 million. If you say 3%, I have about 10% of my subscribers in my course. Now, as you get bigger, that percentage will drop a little bit, but drop 3 times? I don't think so. So that's why I put 30,000 on that. And then I just lowballed the other ones. I very, very lowballed it. 0.5% of his following, I said, bought these ones. About 1.5% bought this. So if you add all his courses up, that's 70,500,000 a year. Now, at the end of this, I'll talk a little bit about his strategies because I don't just want this to be, here's his numbers. Okay, that's all. So I'll talk about his strategies a little bit at the end. So he has all these different courses we know about, $700 now. Some launch higher, some launch lower. Let's just pretend account for refunds and whatnot, even if they're 10%. Still a ton of money, 70 million just from that. Now his groups in other information products. Now the sales on these are estimates and lowballs again, but the prices, he has about 5 different groups that vary from $50 a month, $50 for the year to $4,000 a month. So for the $50 a year thing, I said 10,000. It's probably closer to 50. Lowballed it, so he makes 500,000 from that. He has a monthly group that is part of his book, which he's pre-ordering now, and it's a $50 a month thing. And I said, on average, people stay for 6 months, and then they leave. So I said 5,000 people in there. So that'll make it $300 per person on average, 1.5 million. He has a conference. I said 2,000 people go to that. It's $300 a ticket. He might have to split that with a couple people. Not 100% sure. His accelerator program, which is kind of the advanced thing, $4,000 one-time payment. I said he got 1,000 people in there. Probably close to that, maybe a little bit more. And his lifestyle program, no idea what that is. $67 a month. 6-month average is the average time someone spends in that group before they leave. So they give him, if you multiply these together, then by this, that's $4 million for the year from that if he gets 10,000 people. So 10 million from his groups and different kind of information products like that. Now, this is a total guesstimate here, guys, on this one. I didn't know what to put on this, to be honest, so I made a guesstimate. He has affiliate links to books, tools in his courses, and then recommended movies. I assume a lot of people, he's known for books, so I think a lot of people would buy one book through some of his recommendations. And I said on average he gets about $2 through an Amazon affiliate link. So about 100,000 a year just for having affiliate links to books he likes. And then about 20,000 a year from the movies, because I assume a lot less people watch movies. Then I said he gets about $10 on average for any tool he recommends in his course, and I just said 30,000 people will buy that. So about 420,000 from affiliate type stuff. Now, when he affiliates other things to his email list, that is down here. So after that, I just did kind of random different things he has. Now, he has t-shirts, and I said, okay, 3% of his subscribers buy his t-shirt. He sells them for $25. His profit is probably $10 to $17. I think it's probably $15. I'm lowballing it though. So he gets 33,000 orders, 330,000 profit from that. He owns 50% of Mentor Box, and I know their first test launch, they did 80,000 the first month and then capped it off. So I'm going to assume he can get 5,000 people in there with an average of 6 months they stay in there before they leave. Obviously, some people will stay for a month, some will stay for 2 years. So he owns 50%, so 5,000 people at $90 a month. Half of that, his 50%, is 1.35 million. Now for speaking events, now a lot of people won't believe this, but it's true. To get Tai to come out and talk at an event or come to your event or speak, it's $50,000 a day. I know, I've asked. So I said, okay, let's say he does 10 of those a year. That's 500 grand right there. Now this is the big part right here, which is crazy because he has an email list and a big following. To get Tai to promote your course, so let's say, hey Tai, I'm coming out with this course, I want you to promote it. He says, okay, give me 150 grand up front and then 50% of all sales I bring in. That is how he sets it up. So 150,000 up front. I said he promotes 6 courses per year, probably does 1 a month would be my guess. Maybe a little less, I'm not on his email list. So just from that little retainer, the 150 grand, that's about $1 million. Now he gets the 50% to promote those. So if he gets them 1 million sales, he gets 500 grand of that. And on average, he won't do anything under a $1,000 course. Normally he wants 1 to 2 grand, the course price to be. So I said, okay, he does about 2,000 sales each promotion. He has an email list of millions of people. He can get 2,000 people to buy something, even if it's not his, that he's promoting because of who he is. So if he gets 2,000 sales each promotion, that's 12,000 sales in total at a $1,000 average, even though it's probably higher. And he gets half of that, so that's $6 million for sending maybe 20 emails out for the year. 6 million plus this, so that's about $7 million because he has an email list and a following, and he can just send an email out with someone else's course and not have to do anything. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. So total, 9 million for his kind of random other stuff. Now investments, no idea. I have no idea. I don't think anyone really does. I know he invests in businesses. He invests in real estate. So I said, all right, let's pretend he gets 10% cash on cash return, which he can probably get a little higher depending. And he has 10 million invested. That's another $1 million a year just coming into his pocket. That's just an example. Again, he could have 1 million, he could have 50 million. I don't know. Now he could be in stocks and crypto. Again, no clue. He doesn't talk about it. But his biggest investment is going to be his advertising. Now, why would he spend so much on advertising? He gets a way better return for every dollar he spends on ads than if he got 10% back on real estate. So I assume most of his money goes back into his business and investing to promote his courses, his groups, and other things like that, which is why you see his ads so much. Now, his total revenue, I'll say revenue, is 90 million for the year, lowballed and guesstimated. Now, let's try and guess what his expenses are. Now, I think he said his house was about 50 grand a month. So I said about 700,000 a year. I raised it a little bit for his house. His cars, I don't know how many he has. He has 5 or 6, I think. And I think he leases most of them, which for him is a smart decision. With the return he can get on his money, he shouldn't have money in cars. He should lease them. So I'm going to say he has 200,000 in monthly payments. 200,000 monthly payments between 4 or 5 cars. His staff, I'm going to assume, is probably higher than this, but 300,000 a year because he has a lot of people working for him. His travel, 250,000. No idea. I just made up a high number. His ads, I'm going to say over 5 million a year. Production, so video camera, getting people to come film, all of that. That kind of ties in with staff. I'm going to say 500,000. coaches, if he hires people to come teach on some of his programs, because most of his programs, he's kind of the hype man and other people teach for him. I'm going to say 2 million, and then I just threw in another 2 million random, which is about 6 million in guesstimated expenses. Again, I have no idea. So total income after these expenses is about 84,000. Now, I know you can't deduct like the entire house and cars and things like that, but I wanted to guesstimate, so I don't know. Ty's definitely over the 50% mark for full taxes without any deductions and whatnot, but I assume he is a very good tax guy, so I'm going to drop it and say his effective rate is 30%, so he pays about 25 million in taxes and takes home about 60 million after that. Now, obviously, these are not accurate, guys. Just keep in mind, I want to give you my best guess. Now, let's talk about some of his strategies, because you don't want to see the numbers. You want to know how he does it. Obviously, it's from building a personal brand on the internet, mainly YouTube, then Instagram and Facebook, and he just really grew that and just taught a lot of information with it, and people started seeing results with the information he gave, and he just grew and grew. And after he grew, people built that trust with him. They know who he is. They feel like they know him, and he's kind of like this celebrity figure up there. So anything he talks about or promotes, people will want, even if it's not his. So, for example, his social media course. He's the hype guy. He has the mindset motivational videos in there, and the rest is taught by other people. And I'm going to assume that's the same with Bitcoin and most of these things. Now, why can he do that? Why does that work? Well, you can't be an expert on everything when you're coming out with this many courses and making this much. You don't have time to go learn and be an expert on everything. It's a lot more beneficial for him to bring other people in to teach, give them a percentage, or give them, hey, come talk on my course and I'll give you 100 grand. And they're more than happy to do that because they're experts in another field. They're not into the personal branding type thing. So he's able to do that and capitalize a ton, which most bigger YouTubers have to do eventually. You can only be an expert at so many things, and then you start using your following to outsource other courses, kind of like, it's like being an affiliate, but it's under your name. So if I made a Bitcoin course, I'm not, and I get a Bitcoin expert to come teach it, and I talk a little bit about kind of like how it works, why it works, hyping it up, not the actual how-to, you guys will think it's kind of my course. I'm part of it. I'm talking about it. I do it. Now, again, I'm not doing that, but that's kind of like the whole strategy here. Now, the majority of his money comes from ads and his email list. His email list is the most powerful thing, which comes from all of his following. So he has a lot of different strategies he uses. I won't be able to mention them all in this video. So if you guys want a separate video kind of breaking down like the tactics he's using on ads, his channel, live streams, different things like that, his email lists, let me know and I'll make a whole one on that, because that would probably be a half an hour plus video on its own. So I hope you found this one as enjoyable as the Jake Paul one. And if you want, I'll make one on Logan Paul, but it'll be pretty similar to Jake Paul, a little bit higher. But hope you guys enjoyed this one. And I will be doing one of these in 2 days on the 30th before my personal branding course launches on my income for the year, my first year personal branding, and showing you what it is. So do we hit our goal? Wait and find out. So I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video.